Good evening, my viewers and subscribers. Welcome to another episode of Mellache Analysis Thursdays. And we have on set tonight Professor himself. Apology for Playmaster. He won't be able to make it tonight. And C4 center forward, he will join us later in the program. Welcome, Professor.
Yes, man. Mellache,
Mr.
welcome
Floyd
to
Wright.
another evening show. Okay.
Yes, welcome.
Yes, man.
Yes, tonight we will be talking about the previous matches on Sunday, and how many of us predicted correctly, do the predictions and got it correctly. And for your information, my viewers, last Sunday was the last match for this calendar year, and it will resume on the 7th of January 2024. So also tonight we will also break the Mellache, the analysis Thursdays, until I think it's about the 4th or the 5th of January. So we resume at that time. Mr. Professor, let us talk about the prediction. How many get correct, Mr. Professor? Did you get all 8 correct? All 8 matches correct?
Oh, I think probably about 6. I think 2 of my predictions weren't predicted correctly. But anyhow, 6 is it seems like a good result based on the unpredictability of some of the teams, you know. But I think most part, I think all of us got one
Okay. Was there
definitely wrong.
any upset? Was it
Yes, I think there was one
okay?
in
Was there any
so
upset?
based on our analysis, it would be called an upset. At the memory lane game, probably we would have carried Nagwe to win that game.
Okay.
But I think probably
Okay.
there was the Bulgaria encounter wasn't, I wouldn't call it an upset as such, but we did carry, and probably all of us did carry Britain to win that encounter.
All right. Let us start with this memory lane Nagozed match now. Memory lane 250. Nagozed 249. What happened there, Mr. Wright?
250, 249, that's it?
Yes, memory lane 250, Nagozed 249.
All right,
We're
based
getting
on
feedback from your side, Mr. Wright. Hold on a minute. We're getting a feedback.
all right, I don't know what could have been. So based on the score line, I think it was based on how the teams match up coming into that game. It could have been an encounter to that reflect the score line. However, we did carry Nagwe to win this game, so it seemed based on our analysis, I thought this is an upset. But the encounter based on the two teams matching up,
yes,
coming into this encounter, I wouldn't say it's a big upset. I would say it's rather an upset, but not a big one, because over the years, the caliber of players who would have turned out for Nagwe compared to our memory lane would have suggested that they are the more favorites to come out victors. But in this year's competition, Portmore League, it has differ. So you find that the players are who should have been are the caliber players that in comparison to Memory Lane. There's a
Yes,
slight balance, or I should say some on par, but definitely not a big upset,
what
but
was the
an
margin
upset
of
nevertheless.
what was the margin of victory? You did predict for Nagazed.
I would I never really predicted a clear cut point, but I did know it was going to somewhat of a close encounter based on all the teams came into that game. You know, two were coming off losses, so we're just knowing that it was just based on who wanted more in the end. And I think Memory um did want it did probably need it a bit more. I haven't seen the Memory Lane team
You mean memory lane? You mean memory
as
lane?
yet.
You mean memory lane did want
Yes, I haven't seen
a bit more because memory lane won. Remember memory lane won,
exactly. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Memory Lane did want it more. So that is what the end result would be, although we did carry Nagwe to win this game. I didn't predict the amount of points, but I know it would probably be a close in total based on the matchups.
and the last performance. All
Yes, coming
right.
off those two, because both teams.
Zone from your side. I don't know what's happening. All right. Fourth International versus Cherry Garden. Fourth International 250. Cherry Garden 223.
Well, we
What do you think happened there?
on my co-analyst do predicted Ford to win this one. The victory the previous encounter against was a good against Masterpiece was somewhat of a wake up call for Ford, and I think they did show that in their encounter against a formidable opponent in Cherry Gardens, who had all their players um, were expected to be at the game. So there are no excuses to say they weren't they weren't at full strength. So far, I think I've heard grumblings about the captaincy, which is somewhat
Yes, I was.
it's also going to be a cry for most players on the Cherry Garden side. But I think based on the result, was no surprise. The margin of victory, I think, well, it probably still probably not doesn't sometimes reflect how well probably Cherry Garden put up a fight, because I did but definitely still a good encounter because it wasn't a blown out 20 it's probably a blown out victory, but good. I think
27.
it's a fairly yes, and a good victory for fourth. C4, you can give us your take on think he has gone again.
Yes, but
Go ahead, Mellache.
yeah, yes, but 27. Fourth international winning by 27. I never expect that margin of margin of victory though. I think it would be a bit closer than 27. You understand? And I know they're going to boil on to the
Yes,
captaincy. Is Shanda Paul is the captain for 14 international?
as far
Go
as
again with the
I'm concerned, that
question.
was the case.
Shana Paul is the captain for 4th International, right?
As far as I know, Mellache, I
Professor,
think
kind of
C4 was on trouble
mute your mic. Let
with
me
the
hear
background, but
something. I think
as for Chanda Paul was at the end at that.
mute your mic, Professor. Professor, kindly mute your mic, please. Let me see something. Okay. Yes, I think you're getting feedback from your end, Professor. The squeaking sound. Yes. C4. What is your take on? Oh, welcome, C4.
Bless up, bless up, bless up. Pleasant good night to each and everyone.
In 4th International Chair Garden. 4th International 250 Chair Garden 223. What do you think went wrong there?
Well, this was a much anticipated clash between two teams that were hyped up on the day to deliver. 4th International were victors on the day, but the score line certainly did not suggest the competitiveness of the game, as it was a ding dong battle
Hold
right
on a minute,
down to the last couple of
Hold on
games,
a minute.
where 4th International class prevailed in the end.
Professor, okay. And I heard some persons during the week center forward. Does it boil down to that, captaincy? Center forward.
All right, go again with the question. Go again with the question.
Yes, I'm with your mic. Yes, in the week I heard some persons were saying about bad captaincy. Would it boil down to that?
No, I
The
wouldn't
match
say
between
bad.
fourth and third guy.
I wouldn't say bad captaincy, because at the end of the day, the skipper did not set anyone to lose, and it was a very quality side that Churgan turned up with. Just that in the end, they ran out. They just never find the right chemistry, because it's a team that is put together for this season with the Western influence, and so the chemistry probably has not gone in as yet. So the original Cherry Gardens players that normally would come in and do a thing or two, they were just a kind of disgruntled that they didn't get a chance. But 4th International class, I believe, in the end prevailed.
Okay, but majority of Chergon players were there though.
Well, I tell you, they have Androlite flying in from the United States, and they had Wicked coming in from England, and they have a lot of Trelawney players for that form the core of the team. Plus, they had Great Wall, Stretch, Scatter, and company from the western side. They even have a couple more players to install, including the Blacks, who's also on the registered list for Cherry Garden. So they are expecting great things this season.
Okay, very good. The match between Lynx and Sourceup, Lynx 250, Sourceup 200. Professor, your take on that?
The margin of victory is the largest. The margin of victory in this game encounter is the largest in this round. By any team that won on the day. The Sourceup was quite competitive in the first half. I think at one point they were leaders for majority of between the opening set of games to the mid 60s, 70s. And I don't know what eventually happened between just within the 90s to towards the halftime, where there was a significant lead of 17 going to into the halftime interval. And thereafter, so as a resuming on the second half, couldn't match the strong skills that Lynx had to offer, and eventually came out comfortable victors. I saw a sub team that is not as strong as it was in the previous league, and probably not as strong as it was in last season Portmore League. But we did see a sub team who put up some fight, but not of the quality that they had in previous years. Probably this is probably the weaker sub unit that has assembled. Hence, you find these results, but we don't know what might go on in the coming matches. But I expect Southside to do better based on the quality they have shown over the years, and decide they are probably easily in the top 5 best teams in the island. So they have to get their act together. That's where it is at the moment.
All right. I have a question here, Professor. The player called Bobby Six, right? He was playing for Sourceup in the previous league, right? And now he's on Lynx United side, and I heard he's the one who really. What happened there? Was there some grudge or revenge or something happened there? What happened? Because he used to play for Sourceup in the previous league.
My understanding is that they are a bit disgruntled regarding playing time. They were doing fairly well in the preliminary encounters and weren't able to even draw 7 in the quarterfinal, semi-final, and final. They are quite young players, and in this game of domino, especially, what we have seen is that the teams usually go for their trusted lieutenants, and it will be very difficult for those players who just make their entry into the sport to be a force to reckon with. Even if they do, it will be difficult when they come on to the important games like this. So I think they are discounted by that playing time, but let's see if they will have that opportunity to do so when Lynx reach the stages that are most important, such as this quarterfinal, semi-final, and the final.
Okay, because I was at the match and I saw Bobby Six and he performed very well against Sourceup. So I was just wondering. Yes, Frederick Mesado. Yeah, good night, sir. Big up yourself. And viewers, please remember to always click like. Yeah, remember to click like and also subscribe. For persons who don't subscribe as yet, you need to subscribe. And you have to click like on the video for YouTube to put it out for it to reach more audience. Center forward, yes, your take on the Lynx versus Sourceup. Lynx 250, Sourceup 200.
Yes, as I predicted before, this would have been walk in the proverbial park for Lynx United. Sourceup is far and apart a totally different team than the team that won the previous that won the Town League are even factored by making the semi-final of the Portmore League the last season. This was just about, you know, where would Lynx finish in terms of reaching the line before Soursop had actually, you know, had a chance to finish off. And 50 was the margin, and it is nothing to cry about because Lynx will dominate a lot of teams. You know, just that Soursop needs to go back to the drawing board and go back quickly as have the quality to actually compete. And with a match against Cherry Gardens coming up next, that will certainly have an impact as to where the season of Soursop ends up. But straightforward victory for Lynx United as expected.
Yes, but were you expecting a 50-point victory over Soursop?
Yes, I said it on this program. That it will be a score not of 30, you know, because as I said, this is not the Soursop team of previous years, as Professor rightly pointed out, that this is perhaps the weakest Soursop team that has ever been put together for a competition.
Okay, great. All right. The right stuff 250 versus Foundation 225 center forward.
Well, we all call it for a right stuff victory, even though we knew that Foundation, based on the caliber of players they recruited, would have been competitive. But this is a right stuff team that got the better of Fort recently and is on a roll. You know, so they duly obliged with their pedigree of competing over the years. Foundation, they certainly give it their all, but I guess their all wasn't good enough on the day. And it's back to the drawing board for Foundation and right stuff looking each day as a team that could have an impact on the placings of this year's Portmore League.
Okay. All right. Claudia Mitchell, big up. Good night. Good night, Sonic. Professor, Foundation. I know Foundation has a very good team, but losing by 26, was that expected, Professor, against Right Stuff? Your mic, remember your mic. Unmute your mic.
Yes, Right Stuff is looking like the team that they were a couple seasons ago, just when the COVID break interrupted dominoes. Same Portmore League. They just look like the team that of that ilk. But then we usually see them expecting them to make even the quarterfinals. But there's so a little difference now with I think the attitude and probably the person who is in charge in terms of captaincy. And we did predict a Right Stuff victory. Even though Foundation had a quality squad, but as expected, they are very experienced, and they still have those sort of players or the culture of knowing to do well in the preliminary rounds. And I think this game was no different as by looking at it. But the margin of victory, as you mentioned, is not a surprise. If I would have predicted a result, a scoreline, probably I would. It wouldn't be a surprise if I said it was only 20 or 30, and they would have get beaten by. But kudos to Foundation to be the reckoning so far. in this competition, because normally previous years they would be a challenge to write stuff. It would be their foregone conclusion who would come out victors. But just to know that they were looking, it's a great look.
Yes. Against this foundation, this year foundation, I think 26 is quite a lot to beat a foundation side with the caliber players that they have for this season. To me, my opinion. Right? Well, right stuff didn't started on the right foot, but I think they're getting it together now. All right. Same on you, Professor. Mechanical versus Masterpiece. Mechanical 250, Masterpiece 232. What do you think about that?
Well, no surprises after coming off one beat in a couple of games. Lost their first game the previous match. Now going up against a Masterpiece side that were coming out of impressive. I hate to use the term impressive loss because that was what an impressive loss, but just an impressive output against Fort. Thought they would have probably with more competitive, probably in single digits, they would have lost. But there were surprises for our mechanical side. I think we did predict that this one will go to our to mechanical. We didn't, as I would believe that they would have lost in single digit. Masterpiece they lost in single digit based on the previous contrasting results for both teams. But no surprises. Expected a mechanical.
No, they lost by 18. They lost by 18 points. Center forward. Masterpiece won in the game as yet?
Masterpiece, I believe they actually got a point. I think it's a point there, but we'll get the updated scoreboard in due time. But I'm not sure about if Masterpiece had won again.
Okay, but they got a point though, because they played 5, but they're on 1 point.
Yes, I got a point from Fort.
Okay. Okay. What is your take on that match? Masterpiece.
Well, you know, Masterpiece gave it their all against both international.
Fireball is playing for Masterpiece.
Yes, he played excellent in the 4th international match. However, I don't know what was his impact in this match, but I was expecting that Mechanical would have gotten the job done, as they have shown over the years that they have a liking for Masterpiece, and so they are possibly the best team from Old Harbour, and they will want to continue that dominance, or Old Harbour Road in the vicinity. They would want to continue that dominance, and I believe a victory was never in doubt, as Mechanical is by far the best team that side.
On the video. Big up yourself, world boss. Harvey Smith, welcome, sir. Center forward, Frederick said, remember the matches we used to play against you at Lantry. Lantry is what, up source up? That's what they call Lantry?
No. Well, I tell you, before my source up days, you know, even at source up, we used to have some engagements with, Yes, man. Yellow and Company by Lime Tree, and it was always fun and enjoyment. Lime Tree coming from which part? What's the name again, Professor?
Yeah, man. Not don't be walling.
There was a club
Somewhere
called
around.
Lime Tree. There was a club called Lime Tree.
Not Lake Pen.
Lake Pen, yes, Lake Pen. Lime Tree from Lake Pen. Trust me, we had some great times. I even played for a team named New Looks. New Looks.
Yes.
Came from that side. Yeah, so but I don't
Man,
see any team coming from that time. Yeah, I tell you.
played for
But
so many teams.
that was that. Well, Domino take you a whole lot of different places, and this is why we love the sport. Go all over and play the game.
But what C4?
Yes,
C4.
yes.
You look like you have more. Look like you have more Club More and Tiger Woods, man.
No, but say out of most Domino players, me play the least amount of clubs though. Trust me. Whenever I play for a club, me did it for a good while. Because 7 seasons, me do a Soursop. I'm do about 3 seasons a Village Link. Yeah, so whenever I go outside, now I'm around for a bit.
Okay, you've been around, man. You've been around.
What?
Maybe you're older than how you look.
Yeah.
All right.
You see when the star make
Professor.
you see when the star make an impact in the game early. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Professor. The big match.
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Bull Bear versus Brayton. Bull Bear 250, Brayton 249. What happened there?
250, 2 or
Defending champion
241.
Brayton 241. Yes, Bull Bear 250. No, Bull Bear 250, Brayton 241.
Yes. Nothing. No. It's a surprise because myself and the analyzers did care the Britain team to win this one. They were one of the only unbeaten teams, one of the 3 unbeaten teams left in the competition, and are the defending champions. So we did, based on the fact on the previous encounters, there would be a victory for them, but not a very easy one. But the tables did turn, and Bull Bay with a side that can contest and also be a champion of this competition did win. The margin of victory was what we expected, if because they are both two good teams. It just come down to that final decision, or that just that one difference. And I think probably that's that. I don't know C4 can. I know he wasn't at the game. Playmaster was probably the best person to give us an accurate review post-mortem on this one. But I think there's some fineness of margins. Britain lost. I can't pinpoint what it is because I wasn't there. But losing by that scoreline, there must be some fineness of margin that someone made an error or miscalculation, etc. But very good encounter. It live up to this billing, and we can look forward. We could see far more encounters like this going in the competition. Very great, 2 great match teams, great individual talent and show. If we start name, we can name. We probably by the end of the show, we still naming players, But good match, and congrats, Bulby.
All right. I heard persons saying, why have I only video, only 30 minutes of Bull Bay and Brighton match. But you need to understand that whenever time I go to Bull Bay headquarters, home ground, they always have a lot of music playing. And with the music in the background, I can't video with the music in the background because I will get copyright strike from YouTube and they will delete my channel. So whenever time I go around and I'm doing videos, I can't video with music in the background. And I always mention it to the person who are playing the music and I don't get a good response from them. So if I can't video a match without the music in the background, I'm not going to stay there and video. Bull Bay is one of those. It's one of those venue I can't really video an entire match. Brighton players. I heard Brighton have foreign-based players were at the match. So what happened there? Who were the foreign-based players?
C4 can answer that. I think Earl was definitely one of those players who didn't
Center
make their
forward.
mark.
C4.
Yeah, Earl and Crum, so the two overseas based players for Brighton.
They did. I think Earl did not as exceptional, but did as usual fairly well, to my understanding. But just couldn't come through. As we said, I think we have to give kudos to the captaincy, because there was a change of captaincy. Remember that we even spoke about the captaincy in this encounter, and I think based on the fact they listened to us and made a change to their skipper, and it did pay dividends. I don't know what it's going to be like going forward, if they will still stick with that same individual to captain the rest of the games going forward. But people are do listening and taking what we have said very seriously. I don't know what C4 had to say.
Yes, center forward. What you have to say about that?
Well, Bull Bay, I got some cause that they took what we said here very serious. You know, they use this as a motivation to prove to everyone that they are here and they are not here only to compete but to challenge. And when you talk about players that made a difference, you know, in between winning a match, you know, are actually, you know, making their presence well felt in a match. The name Master was synonymous to this. Master came, saw, and conquered. I don't think he lost at 10, as I got some scores from the captain of the Bull Bay team. Master was in his element, and possibly he was the difference between the two teams. Sometimes we have to just give credit where it is due, because a lot of times, you know, we tend to blame the skippers or blame, you know, someone for a demise. But in this case, I believe we should just lift our hats off to Master. You know, he was the driving force behind the Bull Bay win. You know, and he was backed up fairly well by his supporting cast, with Sour Scream turning up late in the day to add some glass to the glory. But, you know, this will serve to remind Brighton that there are teams out there that are equally as strong and are hungry for the title. So they have to bring their A game if they should defend this crown.
Yes, but, I was at the match, you know, and while I was there, I saw World Boss. He was performing. He encountered with Master. So like what you said, yes, Master. I think he said Master beat him 3 times in one day. Yes, so Master. Kudos to Master. Yes, and I think he's the one who brought Bull Bay to victory. And big up West Kingston, Lincoln Watson, and Kelly Lovelace. Yes, good night, Kelly. Because what West Kingston just said, Domino play on the team, but Domino play on the day. And I definitely agree with you, West Kingston. Yes, Domino play on the day. So it was a very good victory. With Bull Bay against Brighton. So I think it's back to the drawing board for Brighton. All right, C4 Classic 250 Correctional 213. What happened there now?
Yes, that was expected. That Classic will do it in classical manner, and that victory was never in doubt for me. Correctional is a far cry from the pluckiness they usually have with the Trelawney based players, Bobo and company, and Lapa. So it's back to the drawing board again for Correctional. I hope that in due time, because they're a team that always try to compete in every competition, and for the sake of competing, I hope that this Correctional team will get some quality enough that they could actually figure it big time. They really and truly are a team that I like in terms of their attitude in competitions.
Okay. Professor? Classic 250
Yes.
Correctional 213.
Easy victory for Classic. No doubt about this. No doubt about it. It's just that the Correctional, I think if they could get, I think there are a few players who normally turns out for Correctional or at other teams. If those core of players were still at Correctional, they will be a far more force to reckon with. But they're just not. I just don't see them winning a lot of games this season. I think they will just figure on the rug, the bottom rug of this competition. The victory was expected. Anything over 30 was expected. They were fairly competitive at one stage, to my understanding, because at one point they were even leading in the initial stages. So kudos to them being as usual, try to be a part of a competition as much as possible. As Seafood said, they usually try to be contenders in a league that they are considerers of any league, but not one definitely to win because of they are not able to keep core players together for quite long. But no surprises, and I wish they will still compete as usual, and so we can see games going to the end, because normally when teams do compete as much and don't do well, they usually throwing their towel quite early. But Correctional is not a team to do so. So yeah, so teams usually, if they feel they are beating Correctional, they will have to play to the end. So we wish they will still be part of the competition going forward. But I would love to see them having a core of players that they could be top contenders, even going to a quarterfinal far more often. I would love to see that. And I speak extensively on you realize on correctional, because for classic it's just like business as usual.
All right. I've been in Domino. Just read to know, it's the same set of players always playing for correctional. They don't change players. Why is that so? You can say that center forward. It's always the same set of players on correctional team.
Well, because the team is made up of warders, and so the warders that works with the correctional services, they normally get the time off to play, and that's all the time off they get to actually play domino. So they would want to come out on a Sunday and get that time off to participate for the correctional team. And so you find this core of warders making up the core unit of the team.
But they're going to end up like a West Indies side, they don't have any young players or groom any young players.
Well, as I said, they were the team that carried the Trelawney youngsters to town, the Bobo, the Lapper, and those players, the teacher, so they made that master stroke of a season or a couple of seasons where they actually were bringing those youths forward for the world to see before they made the transition to Soursop. So yeah, correctional, they did their bits in terms of the youths, bringing the youths in the game.
We good now. Let's go.
Okay, great. All right. Central 250, Passage Fort 207. Professor, what went wrong there now, Professor? Central 250, Passage Fort 207. Lead of 43.
No, my only thing here is that I would expect this game to be far more competitive. It wasn't the case. Easy victory in the end for Central. Passage Fort just not getting it right. I don't know what's the situation with them regarding their squad. I think the players do turn up, I understand, and the captaincy is probably somewhat of an issue for them. But Central United did expect to win. We did carry this game for them to win, come out victors. But Passage Fort just not getting it right, and I think probably it's the first time I've seen Passage Fort play so many games without winning even one so far. So this is somewhat new to Passage Fort. Probably a bit new look for a Passage Fort team, with probably most of the players from outside. But they just need to get it right. And they have a quality team. They have a quality team, which is a bit surprising. I think probably this team is one of the better teams in terms of in terms of what some of the Passage Fort teams were before. But these things do happen in sports. Probably are one of the best teams or the better teams, and they do perform worse than the more under strength teams. So I just don't know what is happening. The chemistry is not there, captaincy, etc. But definitely it's a disappointment to Passage Fort, and Central is doing well in their debut in the Portmore League.
For what is going on with Passage Fort losing 5 straight?
Passage Fort has shown from the beginning of the season that they will be having a hard task to actually motivate these players to finish the season, much less to really impact the season, as the attitude of the players definitely has gone a wall.
Hello.
They need to get things together and get things together quickly, or else we'll probably see a passage for a team giving away points before the end of the season, which I hope will not be the case for the sake of Domino. But the attitude in the passage for team, is not really there right now in terms of the confidence, in terms of the persons want to go out there and give up their best. There's a lot of complacency, and it has shown in all their matches. And this was supposed to be a close affair if all things well. But with a messy house, you get a messy result, and a more organized central team, definitely took advantage and were worthy of all the points and an emphatic win to boot.
Okay. All right. For me, passage fourth, they lack of captaincy. They need a captain. Yes, we have a captain, but the captain we need a more experienced captain. So that's what is beating passage fourth right now. Although the captain only can do so much and no more because it's still all boiled down to the players because the players are playing into the ring. Understand? But passage fourth is short of a captain. Yes. All right. So far, we only have two teams who is on perfect score. And as expected, is Lynx and Classic. They played 5 matches and they both on 13 points. Mechanical, 16 points. Bull Bay, 16 points. Right Stuff, 16 points. Fort International, 13 points. Cherry Garden, 12 points. Foundations, Village Links on 5 points. Sowasop on 8 points. Memory Lane on 8 points. Nagazed on 5 points. Correctional on 4 points. Passage, Fort on 1 point. Masterpiece on 1 point. All right, so that's the standings and the point standings also. And my viewers, please remember to always click like on the video. And you also need to watch the advertisement also. All right. I think that's it for today. Center forward, any new business, anything coming up? Any tournaments, anything? Any new business?
Well, I think that you could have briefed us about
Big up
a
Sunny,
big match
something in the
in Bulgaria.
grapevine.
Or there's a big match. There's a big match in Yalas.
Yes.
Yeah, in Yalas. I think you'll have to have briefed us about that match.
Well, there's going to be a match in Yalas this Saturday, the 23rd. But it's clashing with the Christmas Mental League. With third place, Bama's third place playoff. There are going to be 2 matches this Saturday, one in Yalas and one at Covenant. So the Covenant is the Mental League, and what Scatter would call is the Diamond League. The Diamond match will be in Yalas this Saturday. Yes. Any more new business center forward? C4. All right. I don't know what is happening there. Yes. Any new business, C4?
All right, come again. I didn't hear.
Any more new business? Any more new business?
No, not that I know of. That's the match between the Mercenaries and the Western All Stars was cancelled, and we don't hear anything about the proposed match between the D side
Cancel or
team.
postpone? Which one? Cancelled?
Well, it seems as if it's cancelled, and we don't hear anything about the D side team versus the, we call them the D1 invitational team. We don't hear anything about that also. So, we're just looking out and seeing this match on the 23rd coming up in Yalas. I guess, that's where all roads leads.
Okay. And for my viewers, tonight is the final broadcast for Mellache Analysis Thursdays. Until next year, I think we're going to resume. What is that? The 5th or the 4th? I think it's 4th of January, because the league starts back at what date? The 7th. The league starts back the 7th, right? Center forward. Yes, the league start the 7th.
The
So
7th,
I think
the 7th, yeah.
Okay, so we will resume on the 3rd or the 4th of January. All right. Big up to all my viewers. Big up to my panel, center forward, and Professor himself.
Yeah, man. So,
So thanks
season's
for viewing, my
greetings to
viewers,
each and everyone.
and keep safe,
Be safe.
everyone.
Yes.
Yes, keep safe. All right. Please remember to click like. And if you don't subscribe as yet, please subscribe and click the notification bell to all, so that whenever time I drop a video or we are viewing, it will come on your phone or whatever device you're using first. All right. Stay safe, everyone. Merry Christmas.